One.
Alright, so today I'm going to talk about a variety of different technologies, right? I'm going to talk about in networks we have a WAN, right? WAN is a wide area network, right? That is the type of network. We also have a LAN. These are the basics. These are like the building blocks. A LAN is a local area network. I'm sorry. Local, right? Area network. Okay? We also have a MAN. The MAN is a metropolitan area network. Metropolitan area network. And I didn't have to write that again because I'm being redundant, but we also have a CAN, which is a campus area network. This is a campus area network. Okay, campus area network. So you get the point, all right? So you have a WAN, a LAN, a MAN, and a CAN. You also have, so let's talk about WAN. I want to talk about WAN technologies. I want to go over the concept of what WAN technologies are. All right, so let's go over WAN technologies. You have 5 WAN technologies, right? And I'm going to talk about how they progress throughout the years. So the first WAN technology was called a T1. This is what you're familiar with. This is what you heard. When you say, oh, my company has a T1. Okay, a T1 is cool. But after the T1, you had X.25 after the years progressed, right? And X.25 was a packet switch technology. It was a packet switch, right? Then after X.25, you have frame relay. And just so you know, frame relay is no longer covered on Cisco exams. Frame relay. Frame relay is an example of a packet switch. I can't remember, but anyway, frame relay. So you had T1, you have X.25, you have frame relay. After frame relay, you had a technology that was called Metro Ethernet. Metro Ethernet. Metro Ethernet. And then after Metro Ethernet, you had a technology that is called, the current technology, what we use now, is Mpls. This is the newest technology. If you ever have a job interview, 9 times out of 10, they're going to ask you about MPLS. MPLS is multi-protocol label switching. Multi-protocol label switching. Multi-protocol label switching. So that's the newest WAN technology that we use. So let's go over to T1. Who invented T1? Let's go back. Let's go back to Tom. Who invented T1? Bell Atlantic invented T1. Bell Atlantic. They invented the T1. Bell Atlantic, you may remember them from back in the days. You would have a payphone. And the same company that invented the payphone, right, invented the technology is T1. So T1 was 23 and 1. 23 and 1. So 23 DSO channels. It was 23 DS0 channels, correct? 23 DSO channels and 1 barrier channel. I may be getting this mixed up. 1 barrier channel. Something to that effect. 1 barrier. But it was 23 and 1. Now, you also have the concept of what is called a fractional T1. A fractional T1 was multiples of 23 DSO channels. A fractional T1. Fractional T1. A fractional T1. So your company could have a T1 or a fractional T1. I'm trying to think. All right. What else can I tell you, man? Technologies. So that's a little bit about T1. This is very impromptu. now you get the concept of WAN technologies. If you ever hear about WAN technologies, and you can see the progression of WAN technologies. Go with this, man. Okay, let me talk about LAN. Let me talk about the LAN, the local area network. In the local area network, you had topologies, correct? This is just the basics, but in local area network, the topologies are the most basic type of topology that you're going to see in a local area network is a star topology. A star topology. This is the most basic type of topology, and that is when you have a switch. This is a typical representation of a switch, and you have a bunch of computers that are connected to the switch. That is called a star topology. Correct? That is called a star topology. So that's a computer, etc., etc. This is a star topology. I'm just trying to give you the basic. That's a computer, by the way. All right. I'm not the best artist, but you know who is? I'm no Mozart. Leonardo. I don't know. Anyway, so then, anyway, bingo. So you have a star topology. Not Mozart, but no artist. So anyway, in the star topology, you can group your computers in what is called a virtual LAN, a virtual LAN, a VLAN, a VLAN, a virtual LAN, a virtual local area network. You can take these two computers and you can put them in a virtual LAN. On a Cisco switch, the commands to put these computers on a virtual LAN would be, pay attention, this is very important, switch port, mode access, right? And then it would be switch port, access, VLAN, and then let's say a number from 2 to 4096. 2 to 4096. Because in VLANs, we can have up to 4096 VLANs. We can have up to 4096 VLANs, and VLAN 1 will be the default VLAN. VLAN 1 is the default VLAN. What are the advantages of putting your VLANs? What are the advantages of putting your computers in a VLAN? What are the advantages? Traffic. You're segmenting traffic. Technically, you cannot have your data traffic, and your voice traffic, they have to be separate. Your data traffic and your voice traffic, they have to be separate. Any further, I'm not going to go into detail about this. You know, this is an entirely different subject. But if you have your data and your voice on the same VLAN, that could be potentially dangerous. That's neither here nor there. We'll get into that later in another discussion. VLAN, virtual local area network. These are the commands: switchport mode access, switchport access VLAN. And VLAN 1 is the default VLAN, and the default VLAN is also called the administrative VLAN. Administrative VLAN. Administrative VLAN. That is the administrative VLAN. You also have, I'm going to go over another topology. You also have what is called the point-to-point topology, or P2P. So a point-to-point topology describes a router that is connected to another router. A router that is connected to another router. You have a router, right? This is a router. This is a router. And you have a serial link. This is called a point-to-point topology. Point-to-point topology. Point-to-point topologies are going to be on the WAN, on the wide area network. Wide area network. We also have a bus topology that's obsolete. We really don't use that. You also have a hub and spoke topology, frame relay. It uses the hub and spoke topology. But frame relay is obsolete, but hub and spoke is when you have a central site and next to, I want to make sure I'm getting this right. Yeah, it connects to these sites. That's called a hub and spoke. This is your hub. These are your spokes. That's a hub and spoke topology. That's another topology, hub and spoke. Topologies. Okay. And that's enough for today. Have any questions, please feel free to ask. Cisco Engineer William, and this is Network Engineering on a minor scale. Signing off.